The novel coronavirus threat has forced countries around the world to take up emergency measures to tackle the spread of the pandemic. India yesterday announced suspension of all tourist visas, while there has been some positive news from China, where the government said it was largely successful in controlling the virus in the last few days. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama, and these are the top stories of the hour. Preventive measures against the possible outbreak of deadly coronavirus feeble in the country. Tourists from infected countries allowed to visit Nepal despite prevailing high risk. India suspends all tourist visas until 15th of April in a bid to contain spread of the novel coronavirus. China says it has greatly succeeded in containing the virus. UEFA Champions League matches scheduled for this coming Tuesday postponed due to the rising threat of coronavirus. And Manchester United thrashes Lask 5-0 in the round of 16 first leg match of the Europa League. Bayer defeats Rangers 3-1. Wolves and Olympiacos settle for a 1-1 draw. Several countries, including India, have taken drastic measures to curb the outbreak of coronavirus as the World Health Organization declared the outbreak as a pandemic. However, the government of Nepal is yet to take such measures and is allowing tourists from virus-hit countries to visit Nepal despite the high risk. We have a report.
4 patients have been kept in isolation ward at Sukraraj Tropical and Infectious Disease Hospital in Teku, and 2 more have been admitted at Patan Hospital in suspicion of coronavirus. 1 coronavirus infection has been confirmed so far in the country out of 450 tests conducted. The government has not taken serious preventive measures to contain the spread of the epidemic, although WHO has already enlisted Nepal as the high-risk zone of coronavirus. The government has stopped issuing on-arrival visas to the visitors from 8 worst-hit countries, including Italy, Iran, and Korea, among others. However, tourists from these countries are flying to Nepal with unhindered restrictions. They are being released from Tribhuvan International Airport with routine tests measuring their temperature. Most of the countries have quarantined tourists for 14 days. However, no such measure has been observed in Nepal. The neighboring India has already suspended all tourist visas till April 15 in a bid to contain spread of the novel coronavirus. The US government has banned air connectivity with 26 European countries for a month at least. Qatari government has also banned foreign nationals from 14 countries, including Nepal. However, the Nepal government has not taken strong preventive measures except urging the public to avoid mass gathering. At a time when the developed countries are facing difficulties to control the epidemic, this is the right time to work on preventive measures to control the spread of the deadly coronavirus, given that the dreaded virus still has not raised its ugly head in Nepal.
And moving on, lawmakers at the meeting of the House of Representatives drew the government's attention towards black marketing of essential items and cooking gas amid fears of coronavirus outbreak. Speaking at the meeting of the House of Representatives yesterday, lawmakers from both the ruling and the opposition parties urged the government to intervene in the ongoing black marketing. Urging the government to take action against the faulty businesses at the earliest, lawmakers warned black marketing of the essential items would further escalate if the government failed to take timely actions.
खाना पकाउने ग्यास लगायतका अति उपभोग्य वस्तुहरुमा ठूलो अभाव सृजना गर्ने यस्ता काला बजारीहरुलाई र आपूर्ति व्यवस्थामा बाधा दिनेहरुलाई कानुनले सख्तसम्मको कारबाही गर्न कुनै बाधा दिएको छैन र तुरुन्त यसतर्फ सरकारले कदम चालोस् भन्ने पनि म माग राख्न चाहन्छु।
वाणिज्य मन्त्री यही हुनुहुन्छ, कसैले खान नपाए मलाई भन्नु भनेर उहाँले अभिव्यक्ति दिनुभएको छ। कुन जनताको मन्त्रीमा पहुँच हुने किसिमको हामीमा त्यस्तो राजनीति कहाँ छ र सभामुख महोदय? अहिले बजारमा हामीले हेर्ने हो भने खाद्यान्न घरमा महिलाहरूले खाना पकाउनको लागि सभामुख महोदय अहिले ग्यास बजारबाट लुकाइसकेको छ। सभामुख महोदय, सरकारले त्यसको कडाभन्दा कडा अनुगमन गर्ने कि नगर्ने सभामुख महोदय?
Lawmakers also demanded for clarification from the government for its failure to revise the prices of petroleum products as per the international market. Lawmakers from the main opposition Nepali Congress demanded for a suspension of all House proceedings amid rising threat of coronavirus. The meeting held yesterday passed a motion of condolence on the death of former lawmaker Purna Kumar Sharma Limbu, who passed away on Wednesday at the age of 76. And with that, we'll take a short break here. For more news, do stay with us. It's time now for the international update. A person in India's Karnataka state has died from coronavirus. The 76-year-old man who recently returned from Saudi Arabia died last night. India so far has 76 confirmed cases of the virus. However, this was the first death registered in the country due to the virus. An Indian official has said that India has suspended all tourist visas till 15th of April in a bid to contain spread of the novel coronavirus. The Indian Health Ministry says that 30,000 people are under surveillance. Meanwhile, US Defense Minister Mike Esper has cancelled India's trip. Indian Premier Narendra Modi put restrictions on travel abroad in the upcoming days and to ensure safety of all by avoiding large gatherings. Likewise, officials in China have declared that the peak of the country's outbreak is officially over. Mi Feng, a spokesperson for China's National Health Commission, said that the increase of new cases is falling. There was just 15 new cases logged across the whole of China yesterday, and Hubei province, the epicenter of the virus, logged just 8 new infections. Over the last 7 days, the progress of coronavirus in the country has slowed drastically. China has been enforcing strict measures on traffic and the movement of people in an attempt to stem the spread, including effectively putting Wuhan on lockdown. US President Donald Trump has announced sweeping new travel restrictions on Europe in a bid to combat the spread of the coronavirus. There are 1,135 confirmed cases of the virus across the US, with 38 deaths so far. Earlier on Wednesday, the World Health Organization said the outbreak was a pandemic. This is defined as a disease that is spreading in multiple countries around the world at the same time. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has announced an escalation in the country's ongoing lockdown. He said the majority of shops, as well as bars, hairdressers, restaurants and cafes that could not guarantee a meter's distance between customers would close until 25th of March. Italy has more than 12,000 cases confirmed and a death toll of 827. According to the World Health Organization, nearly 900 people with the virus in Italy were in intensive care. And moving on, Chaupadi is a culture rampant in far western region of Nepal, where menstruating women are kept away from their houses in menstrual sheds. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the locals of Surkhet, would the destruction of these menstrual sheds or huts end the age-old practice in Karnali and far west? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
छाउगोट भौतिक रूपमा भत्काएर मात्र हुँदैन, मानसिक रूपमा अथवा मस्तिष्कबाट छाउगोटको अन्त्य गर्न जरुरी छ।
यो मिन्सको बारेमा बुझाएर चाहिँ उनीहरु आफै सक्षम हुन् कि उनीहरुले यो छाउगोटलाई चाहिँ आफैले भत्काउन इच्छा राखुन्।
कुनै पनि भौतिक संरचना नभत्काऊ, गएर उनीहरुको सोचलाई भत्काउनको लागि हामी आजको भोलि हुँदैन, त्यसको लागि 10 वर्ष लाग्न सक्छ।
With that, we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for yet another short break. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what's the reason behind cooperatives not being able to focus on productive activities? Your options are A, habituated to high interest, B, result of politicization, and C, flaws in policy itself. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
UEFA Champions League matches scheduled for this coming Tuesday has been postponed due to the rising threat of coronavirus. English club Manchester City were to host Spanish giant Real Madrid in the match of the last 16 on Tuesday. The match was postponed as Real Madrid players are in quarantine. Likewise, the match between Italian club Juventus and Lyon too has been affected. A total of 121 members from Juventus, including players, staff and the director, have been kept in quarantine for 14 days as Juventus defender Daniel Rugani tested positive for coronavirus. The virus outbreak has also halted La Liga, Eredivisie, Premier League and Major League soccer matches. Now, Manchester United trounced Australian club LASK 5-0 in the round of 16 first leg match of the Europa League. In the match played at LASK's home ground last night, Odion Igalo opened the scoring in the 28th minute to give Manchester United a 1-0 lead. United were impressive in the second half as they added 4 more goals. Daniel James scored in the 58th minute while Juan Mata found the net in the 82nd minute to take a commanding 3-0 lead. Substitute player Mason Greenwood and Andres Pereira scored a goal each in injury time to seal Manchester United's 5-0 drubbing of LASK. Meanwhile, in other Europa League round of 16 first leg matches played last night, Wolves and Olympiacos settled for a 1-1 draw while Bayer Leverkusen chalked out a 3-1 win over Rangers. It's time now for our special segment, Showbiz. Former movie producer Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison on 11th of March for his sexual assault and rape convictions last month after delivering a rambling statement to the court expressing sympathy for men accused in the #MeToo movement while saying he is trying to be a better person. The sentence was handed down in Manhattan Criminal Court by Justice James Burke. More than 100 women, including famous actresses, have accused Weinstein of sexual misconduct stretching back decades, fueling the #MeToo movement against sexual abuse and harassment. After the sentencing was announced, several Hollywood stars took to the Twitter to share their reactions, including actress Rosie Perez, who testified during the trial. Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks and his wife, actress Rita Wilson, have both tested positive for coronavirus in Australia. The actor tweeted he and Wilson, who are both 63 years old, were tested in Australia, where he is working on a film after they felt tired and achy with slight fevers. Hanks said he and Wilson would be tested, observed and isolated for as long as required. Hanks was in Australia to film a movie about the life of Elvis Presley, in which he plays the Rockers' manager, Colonel Tom Parker. Britain's top royals came together on Monday at Westminster Abbey in their last public family gathering before Prince Harry and his wife Meghan set off on a new career path devoid of official duties. The annual Commonwealth service was also the first time Harry and Meghan had been seen with Queen Elizabeth, his elder brother William and wife Kate, and Father Prince Charles and his wife Camilla since the couple thrashed out an exit deal from their royal roles in January. The agreement, which comes into force at the end of the month, will see the couple, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, seek to carve out a progressive new role, mainly in North America, that they aim to finance themselves. Harry and Meghan will stop using their royal titles. The couples have been spending most of their time in Canada, but returned this month for a farewell round of engagements. This is Sarah Sapsanama for Showbiz and Kantipur Newsdesk. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Preventive measures against the possible outbreak of deadly coronavirus feeble in the country. Tourists from infected countries allowed to visit Nepal despite prevailing high risk. India suspends all tourist visas until 15th of April in a bid to contain the spread of novel coronavirus. China says it has greatly succeeded in containing the virus. UEFA Champions League matches scheduled for this coming Tuesday postponed due to the rising threat of coronavirus. And Manchester United thrashes LASK 5-0 in the round of 16 first leg match of the Europa League. Bayer also defeats Rangers 3-1. Wolves and Olympiacos settle for a 1-1 draw. That's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.